If you're driving from Paphos to Limassol, do not just sit on the highway for 45 minutes. You're literally driving right past some of the most mysterious spots in Cyprus. Most tourists never even see these. Like a sanctuary for an ancient cult, or a monastery ruled entirely by cats. And wait until you see the Salt Lake. It looks like another planet. We just walked past the monument for the Greek Revolution. 200 years of history right here. It links Cyprus to the Greek War of Independence, when uprisings against Ottoman rule spread across the region. We are in Paphos Old Town. It's 23 degrees. And honestly, it's the perfect vibe. It's so quiet up here. On our left, the municipal gardens. Across the main road stands a large, elegant building, the Paphos Music School. Originally built during the British period, it reflects Cyprus's layered identity. Greek culture, British administration, Mediterranean rhythm. Did you know Cyprus was under British rule until 1960? Or is this new to you? We continue walking until we reach Memorial Column Square, one of old Paphos civic centers. Just a few steps away stands the Paphos Town Hall, a neoclassical building from the 20th century. Balconies, symmetry, confidence, and the architecture of a town that knows it matters. It's still morning. The streets are calm, and the feeling is clear. This is not a tourist version of Cyprus. Old Paphos Town is the original administrative heart of modern Paphos, sitting uphill from the touristy harbor area. In terms of size, it's compact but important. The wider Paphos municipality covers about 23 square kilometers, and Old Town occupies the central elevated section, only a few square kilometers. Originally, this upper town developed because it was safer from pirate attacks. Then tourism changed everything, and hotels, resorts, and restaurants exploded along the coast. The old town slowly lost attention. Cutting across the park toward the back roads, we headed to where our car is parked and also near the southern catacombs of Paphos. Nowadays, something interesting is happening. Old Paphos is being rediscovered, with renovations, cafes, cultural spaces, and heritage projects bringing life back to the area. It's still quieter than the harbor, still more local, and that's exactly the appeal. And starting our drive to Limassol from here feels like starting the story from the beginning. But of course, this story cannot continue unless my wife has eaten her fill. And luckily, for that, I have found the right place to bring her. After a sumptuous breakfast, we hit the highway. The road climbs gently, pulling you away from the shoreline and into the quieter heart of Cyprus. The blue disappears in your mirrors, replaced by rolling hills, limestone ridges, and open farmland. Yet, there was virtually no traffic. And then something subtle happened. Without any checkpoint or passport control, we quietly cross into the UK's sovereign base area of Akrotiri. Yes, this is still Cyprus, but legally, it's British territory. From Paphos, it takes about 35 to 40 minutes of driving to reach the turnoff for Apollo Hylatis. The road is smooth, easy, and perfect for long cinematic driving shots. This is the Sanctuary of Apollo Hylatis, and it isn't a single temple, but an entire sacred complex. The site covers roughly 15 hectares, making it one of the largest sanctuaries on the island. And what makes it special is where it is located. Not on the coast, not in a city, but deep in nature. We're now just outside Kourion village, in the Limassol district, surrounded by pine forest. But technically, we're still inside the UK's sovereign base area of Akrotiri. Apollo here wasn't just the god of music and prophecy. He was Apollo Hylatis, meaning he was the protector of the forest and guardian of Kourion. Worship at this site began as early as the 8th century BC, long before the Romans arrived. Back then, this wasn't about grand stone buildings. Instead, it was about trees, springs, and ritual space. As we entered, we paid a small entrance fee, just a few euros, making this one of the best value archaeological sites in Cyprus. The first thing that caught our attention was the sheer silence. The columns you see today once supported a massive roof, towering over worshippers who came to offer sacrifices and prayers. Earlier, we walked past the Roman baths, where visitors purified themselves before rituals. Religion here was physical, meaning cleansing the body before approaching the divine. One of the most intriguing structures is the circular building. Historians still debate its purpose. Some believe it was used for ritual dances or ceremonies. Others suggest it played a role in priestly functions. As we continue walking, we pass by a pilgrim hostel, where travelers could stay overnight. We also walked past administrative buildings used by priests, and open courtyards, where offerings once burned. And everywhere, you can spot fallen columns, carved stones, fragments of a world that collapsed slowly through earthquakes and shifting power. By the 4th century AD, pagan worship was banned as Christianity spread across the Roman Empire. The sanctuary was abandoned, reclaimed by forest and silence. And that's what makes this place so powerful today. There were hardly any visitors, no tour groups, no noise, just wind through pine trees and footsteps on ancient stone. Leaving the forest of Apollo behind, the road drops quickly. Pine trees thin out. The air changes. And suddenly, the sea reappears. This is Kourion Beach, sitting directly below the ancient city of Kourion, one of Cyprus's most dramatic coastal landscapes. Here, there is no golden sand, no umbrellas lined in rows. Instead, Kourion Beach is covered in dark pebbles, shaped smooth by constant waves. The water here is deep blue, almost steel-colored on windy days. And today, it's alive. The waves are big and powerful. This is one of the best wind and wave spots in Cyprus, especially popular with surfers, kite surfers, and windsurfers. In winter months, the swells can be impressive and far stronger than anything you'll find near the resorts. To one side, the cliffs rise sharply, with layers of limestone stacked like pages of history. To the other, the Mediterranean stretches endlessly west, swallowing the horizon. Leaving Kourion behind, the road flattens out completely. The cliffs disappear, and even the wind softens. This is the Holy Monastery of St. Nicholas of the Cats. It sits right on the edge of the Salt Lake, isolated, low, and calm, as if almost hidden. Its story goes back to the 4th century, when St. Helena is said to have brought hundreds of cats to this area to deal with a deadly snake infestation. The cats stayed, and so did the legend. Even today, cats roam freely around the monastery grounds, resting on stone walls, slipping between olive trees, and watching visitors without fear. The monastery itself is modest in size, rebuilt and restored over centuries. But its setting is what makes it special. There's no dramatic architecture here. But then again, it is just silence, flat land, and sky. Today, the monastery is still active and maintained, and the cats are not strays. They are part of the monastery's identity. There's no official number, but estimates usually range between 50 to over 100 cats, depending on the season. The Holy Monastery of St. Nicholas of the Cats sits on the southern edge of the Limassol Salt Lake, just west of Limassol, near Akrotiri Peninsula. And yes, this is still inside the UK's sovereign base area. Geographically, it feels isolated on purpose. To the north, the endless white of the Salt Lake. To the south, low scrubland and distant sea air. No towns, no noise, just space. This is the largest salt lake in Cyprus, covering roughly 10 square kilometers when full. But size here is deceptive. When it dries, it feels infinite. As we drive along the edge, we start noticing tire tracks cutting straight across the lake bed. Yes, people do drive here. But the danger is invisible. Just beneath the surface is soft, powdery sediment. One wrong step, and you can sink without warning. We parked in a safe spot near Ladies Mile Park, where the land transitions from road to lake, and we continued on foot. As we explore around, let me tell you, next week on World with Wife, we're visiting Limassol itself in a 40 minutes long video, and we're walking it properly. If today was about what lives between destinations, next week is all about understanding the destination itself. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.